This is I'm going to show you guys this video. I told you guys before, I'm not big on watching debates and stuff like that because I don't really think like debate is very helpful. I don't. I think it's for clicks and views. I think conversations are great. I think people should sit down and have conversations, and you should kind of start the conversation with the idea that that you want a solution from the conversation. I think that's what would help humanity. I think a lot of debates do not have much value other than for clicks and views and creating cash for content creators. Maybe a long time ago, like the Greeks. Debate was a good thing when a camera wasn't turned on and it wasn't all for clicks and views. Maybe they were good, but I think nowadays it's just been too monetized, just like everything else. Everything's been monetized to the nines, and now it's just like the actual value for it has like dropped, and the potential financial value of it has gone up. So one of the things I wanted to talk about though was that like how constantly I see debates against Trump supporters. And it just is so depressing because the talking points from Trump supporters are always so bad. They just never make sense. They're so conspiratorial. They're very rarely even cognizant of their own inability to make like a strong argument for anything that they believe. They ramble, they go off, they do the weave just like Trump. And I thought that this was kind of like a prime example of that. This debate between, I guess this guy's name is Matthew, and this and with Destiny, who's a left-wing content creator and debater, and then there's the other three men in the background that also debated him, and I would say 3 out of 4 of these guys were absolutely fucking horrific, and I can't watch it all again, but I wanted to watch this specific debate with you guys. This is over tariffs. Destiny's what he's trying to make his main point here is that Trump's tariffs have been a disaster, as many of us agree with, and this Trump supporter is trying to defend Donald Trump's tariffs against that statement.
Well, hello, Steven. Nice to meet you. We're talking about Trump's tariffs today, and you've expressed that you don't think they're that great or what he's done. And I want to say
catastrophic, but yeah.
I want to say he's done really good, and I'll tell you why. I think he should even raise the tariffs more, not just on the other countries on the earth, but especially the people that are going to be our enemies for the next world war that's coming up, which has already started.
You guys remember when all the Trump supporters said Donald Trump stops wars? This is like literally the type of mental brainwashing that these people have. Like they went from Joe Biden is going to lead us into a world war to Donald Trump is actually preparing us for a world war because we're actually in the world war right now. Which, by the way, I don't disagree with the fact that there have been proxy wars going on, just like the Cold War. I actually do not disagree with the idea that a lot of these are proxy wars. It's just very hyper hypocritical of these people to call Donald Trump the anti-war president and say that Joe Biden was leading us into World War III, and then at the same time say Trump doing it is acceptable.
I'll talk about that a little later, but what I think one of the best reasons for Trump to raise tariffs even higher than they are now is because there's so many illegal immigrants coming here, being led into the country.
Like you knew he's a Trump supporter. You knew he was gonna tie immigrants into this somehow. Tariffs and immigrants, guys. Tariffs and immigrants. They're obviously those two things go together like peanut butter and jelly in a Trump supporter's mind.
And of course, they're having babies, right? And those babies need to be fed. So I think instead of just like punishing the citizens of the country, right?
By the way, tariffs punish the citizens of America.
By raising taxes on them.
By the way, tariffs are a tax on American citizens.
I think it's a much better idea to sort of get money from a different source other than the United States taxpayer.
By the way, once again, tariffs are a tax on the American taxpayer that we pay.
To help with this problem that we have of this influx of illegal immigration through that open border, which is another thing Trump did good to at least address the idea that it's sensitive, like it's a danger to have it, especially with this coming world war. how there's fentanyl coming through that open.
Now we're tying it together, guys. Now we're tying it together. We've got fentanyl, we've got open borders, and we've got tariffs are not taxation. This is what I'm saying. I watched this fucking conversation and I was like, this is why I say I refuse to talk to Trump supporters in this manner. Because, like, Destiny here hasn't said anything. I would have interrupted this man like 17 times already.
Open border, and which is coming from China. I don't know if you guys have information about that, but it's being produced in China and it's coming north of the border through Mexico with the cartels. Now, if they're doing that, and since we haven't gotten to a hot war with them yet, the best thing to do is get as much money as we can through tariffs, which would be legal and not so much aggressive.
How the fuck are other countries paying? They don't pay the tariffs. You pay the tariffs at the point of entry. When a product is imported, the business that is purchasing said product pays the tariff. How do immigrants at all tie into this? How does fentanyl at all tie into this? And this man clearly does not understand how tariffs work.
In the sense of like a hot war. And I think, yes, I think Trump is doing a great job what he's doing with what his opposition is. And just for basically those two reasons which kind of connect that, yes,
they do not.
There's a huge problem with
connect,
illegal
guys.
immigration.
They do not connect.
Give Steven a chance.
Okay.
Well, yeah, okay, so I guess just on one of these, when we say tariff, are we still under the impression that the other country pays the tariff and not the American consumer?
I think the people have lied about that for so long that people are just starting to become aware of it. And I think people probably lie too.
Well, so like, what do you think like tariffs are collected
Like, what the fuck was that answer?
from?
Well, exactly like I just said, get it from these countries. They want to make deals with the United States, China. They're a massive producer with all those coal power plants that they're able to produce a lot.
By the way, China produces a massive fuck ton of green energy. And that's the reason that they're ahead of us with AI right now, is because while we're over here going fucking backwards, China is moving forward. And they're taking advantage of this time that Donald Trump's dipshit ass is making all these terrible fucking decisions that are literally handcuffing us, while the very people that these people are like, oh, we should get money from them. By the way, China doesn't pay these tariffs, you fucking morons. While all this is going on, fucking China is steaming full speed ahead into AI.
Cheaply, and they need a market for that.
Well, sure. I mean, they have the entire rest of the world, not just the United States.
Well, the rest of the this earth does not have the economy like the United States.
Rest of the earth
Guys, this is how fucking dumb these people are. The rest of the world does not have the economy that America does. I guarantee you this guy has no idea how many people reside in these other countries. India, China. The rest of the world doesn't have the economy that the less than 400 million people in America do? Are you fucking joking me?
is a far bigger economy than the entirety.
Need a market for that.
Well, sure. I mean, they have the entire rest of the world, not just the United States.
Well, the rest of the this earth does not have the economy like the United States.
The rest of the earth has a far bigger economy than the
stuff.
entirety of the United States. Right?
Pardon me?
The rest of the world combined has a larger economy than the United States.
Oh,
right?
so that's what you're saying. So I guess you're proving my point then. If the rest of the economy is bigger than the United States, then yeah, we should get as much from them as we can.
Well, I guess, but what I'm saying is that, like, if there's a tariff that we enact against another country, a tariff is something that a consumer in the United States pays when they import something. That's an import tax.
I don't think Americans should pay more. I think we should pay.
Dude, fucking, this is what I'm saying. Like, I just had to show you guys this interview because I was like, this is why I refuse to fucking talk to these people. There's no winning. Motherfucker, you keep saying over and over and over and over and over fucking again that you think that people shouldn't pay more taxes. Tariffs are taxes on Americans. It's a regressive tax.
less.
But that's what a tariff is.
No, I like I just said, we shouldn't pay more.
But
we should get more money from the other.
Yes, you're right. We shouldn't pay more. That's why there shouldn't be tariffs. I just like, this is when I'm just like, I just need to find a shallow puddle and just lay down face first in it.
People.
A tariff is an import tax, right?
Excuse me?
A tariff is an import tax. Like all the money collected from tariffs is just more taxes that are paid for by Americans. Yeah, that's why
they need to work these deals out better so that the United States taxpayer isn't covering the burden for all this humanitarian efforts that are taking place.
Humanitarian efforts don't have anything to do with tariffs. Tariffs are just when you import goods.
Illegal immigrants that people are like okay with, you know, like so how it's okay to bring them here. And
immigration is a separate...
this idea that's okay to make other countries better before making our country better.
Do you think
that's the whole thing about America first.
Are there other countries that are better than America right now?
I didn't say that they were better.
Okay,
I said America's the best country. We're in charge. We're the leader.
And we're the best country. We're in charge. We're the leader. We need more. More. It's like this guy, like if only he had went down a different path in his life, he would be mad at the correct people. Like, my dude, like you're almost even there. Like when you even talk about tariffs, right? When you talk about tariffs, you could literally be making the argument that American people shouldn't pay, that corporations should. Like this is one of the places that I actually agree with Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says that he thinks that Walmart should eat the tariffs, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking down with that. That's fine. That's fine with me. But Donald Trump knows. He knows that they won't do it because we are already fucking waist deep in capitalism, crony capitalism. The reason that Walmart doesn't already reinvest their profits back into their employees, back into their businesses, back into healthcare, back into paying for pensions is because they pay that money to shareholders. And what is going to happen is that when, and this is already happening, percentage of tariffs have increased prices in Walmart and are going to do so soon. Already, PPI has gone up a solid 1%. That is a forward-looking indicator that is going to tell you that people in the import industry are paying more money. Thus, that will trickle down to the consumer, where the consumer will have to pay for that, right? If you wanted to say the American people should not be taxed anymore, and you were to say to me that you think that these corporations should just eat the tariffs. We're still going to have a whole fucking debate over whether or not that's a good, solid, like, trade idea to, as far as, like, creating better trade situations for America and the country. That's a different subject. But if you wanted to say to me that you thought that corporations should eat the tariffs so that way we could get the money from the tariffs, you still have to say China doesn't pay those tariffs. Walmart pays those tariffs. Americans pay those tariffs. I mean, look, I don't want to agree that Walmart is American, but they are. And they are still paying those tariffs. It's fucking insanity. Mama Brooke, thank you for the $4.99. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. This is why I don't do debates on here. This is why I don't watch debates. It fucking drives me nuts. I always want to know where these people get this wacko information from. There's so much of it and all different too, but the same. It's all different, but the same. And they're getting a lot of it. Somebody just said it. AI. A lot of these people are getting it from fucking ChatGPT now. They are ChatGPTing every one of these fucking topics, and then they are never researching. Look, I don't care if you look at AI to get an idea, get a starting point, right? Like I've always said, like conspiracy theory. Like if somebody comes to you and they say, do you think that Hillary was involved in all these murders of other people? Like, that's a conspiracy theory, right? But it doesn't mean that it's not worth researching, right? It's a good place for a hypothesis, a good place to start. And then you need to look through, specifically when we're talking about tariffs and stuff like that, you need to talk about, like, statistics. You need to look at, like, financials. You want to look into, like, studies. You want to look into meta-analysis, which is the study of the studies. You want to, go further and further down into this and get as deep as you can on any one of these topics. You want to hear conflicting opinions. You want to hear supporting opinions. And you want to use some of your own anecdotal evidence. Once again, those are all really important things. So if you're a person that's like, well, I like to use ChatGPT, that's fine. But you need to then be researching. Like, for one instance, it's like using Wikipedia, right? If you go to a Wikipedia article and you just regurgitate the stuff that you see on Wikipedia, you're not doing it right. Wikipedia oftentimes has sources for like the majority of the stuff that's on there. You should be going and looking at the sources. You should be making sure the material is correct. You should be making sure that that you're not just regurgitating like bullshit that's already been debunked. Like, that's where they get all this shit from, is from being lazy. It's the Fox News, just sit in front of your TV and veg out and listen to every fucking thing they say and believe everything they say. It's the same thing with ChatGPT. It's the same thing with Charlie Kirk. It's lazy people that are politically illiterate, if not straight up illiterate, that are never going to question the information that they're given.
There's a lot going on. So
Sure.
yes, of course, like the Godfather, they got to pay tribute to the Godfather.
But
they got to
people paying
kiss the
tribute-
rings.
Do you understand that tariffs are an import tax?
Yeah, I understand that. So when China
No, he
wants
doesn't.
to sell their products here, they should not be as expensive as they want it. It should be as
No, that literally makes them more expensive. If you have a $10 item and you tax it 15%, it is now a $11.50 item. Like, people don't understand. Up to this point, I believe it's something like 13 to 25% of all of the tariffs have been passed on to consumers, right? So that's actually really, really low. That's not bad. However, because of the fact that costs continue to rise due to all of these new negotiations and these tariffs and all the uncertainty as well as climate change and many other factors, including raising wages for minimum wage employees, with all of that being said, that cuts more and more into the profit of these fucking companies. So within the next 6 months, that 13 to 25% of tariffs that you have been paying is going to raise to 65 to 75%. And they're going to do it most likely during the holidays, during a time that you do not have a choice but to purchase things. China doesn't pay for that. China might negotiate a percentage of that they're willing to pay, but China already uses fucking slave labor and sends shit over for pennies on the fucking dollar. How much cheaper do you think that China can make it? The reason that we go to China for these goods is because if we produce them in America, they would fucking skyrocket and you could not afford to fucking pay for them. We literally, he says they should kiss the rings. He says they should kiss the rings. They should come to the Godfather and they should pay homage. We have been already doing that for fucking 100 years. Why do you think there are sweatshops in Vietnam? Do you think that's them fucking, like, being egotistical? They're cocky? They're being so cocky. They're taking advantages. They're taking advantages by making fucking 12-year-olds fucking make Nikes for, like, 12 cents a day? This is why I can't watch debates.
expensive as we want it
But tariffs
to
are
be.
going to make it more expensive.
Excuse me?
Tariff will make it more expensive.
That's an
Excuse me?
assumption.
Well, no, that's a factual reality.
Well,
If they
it's,
sell
once
something for
again, it's an
100
assumption that you're thinking if we do this, it'll go one way. I'm saying no. Americans should pay less. The taxpayer should pay less. The tariffs that we charge, say, China to do business here, any country, India.
We don't charge China tariffs. We charge companies that import Chinese goods tariffs. That is how it has always worked.
Italy, anything, Iran. Yeah, they got to pay more. You know, they want to
If
do
it
business
comes
here.
out in a year or two that we're paying more for things as a result of tariffs, would that make you change your mind on tariffs?
I still think that Americans should pay
Jesus
less
Christ.
and other countries should pay more. So they've discussed earlier how the numbers can be fudged. And, you know, there's that famous book.
And this is where they do it. This is where they do it. When you get them in a corner and they're like, everything you believe is wrong, they say, you have your facts and we have ours. We have alternative facts. That's what this gentleman is saying right now. They're fudging the numbers. The same person that Donald Trump just fired during his administration for subtracting the jobs numbers, right? For changing the jobs numbers and subtracting jobs from prior numbers, which is, by the way, the jobs numbers are lagging indicators. That means that when we first get information on jobs, we make an assumption, and then we wait for more information to come in, and then we correct the prior information with the new information. When she changed those numbers in his administration, he lost his fucking shit and he fired her and said she's not actually doing her job correctly. When they did the same thing during Joe Biden's administration for the last quarter or the second quarter, third quarter of 2024, he said, look at that. Joe Biden was trying to say he had all these jobs and actually he didn't. They just fired the intel specialist from the fucking the defense department that said that we did not, in fact, destroy Iranian nuclear capabilities, which is fucking true. The group of people that say that you cannot trust the numbers because people fudge the numbers literally are firing people because they don't report numbers that they want them to report. This is why I cannot stand having any type of conversation with these people. They're not fucking all there. These are not smart people, and we need to stop being nice about this and being like, well, you know, they're not the smartest people, but they live here in America, so we shouldn't like treat them like morons. They are morons!
How to lie with numbers. So the specific numbers people could lie about. You know, I've
but you'll see it
debated
at the
plenty
store.
of
I mean,
Globers. I know that
there are people now that are looking at their
numbers, right?
the stuff that they're paying for, and it is starting to go up. There are people that are having.
Mountain Bike says, yeah, this guy is just flat out lying, nothing new. I don't even think he's lying, to be honest, Mountain Bike. I don't think he knows he's lying. I don't think he's smart enough to understand what Destiny is saying to him here. I don't think that he actually doesn't believe what he's saying. I think he believes it 100%. I don't think that he's being dishonest. I just think he's not a very intelligent person.
To put 10-15% additional charges to cover the tariffs.
That's one way to motivate the American manufacturing to increase. Like, so if you're saying China, they want to charge us more for their products, well, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be importing their products.
China isn't charging people more for their products. The reason we get Chinese products is because they are cheaper than everybody else's fucking products. The only reason that Chinese products, like this guy doesn't even fucking understand why you tariff people. The whole point of tariffing China is to increase the price of their products, to make less of their products be imported into America, so that way you can bring industry back to America, so that way you create jobs. All of these fucking morons can't remember that fucking 5 months ago, that was the narrative. They don't remember that their narrative 5 fucking months ago was we're bringing back industry to America. No industry has came back to America. None. Zero. Zip. It never was going to, because it was all a fucking lie. It was all a lie. And all that is happening right now is wealthy people are getting wealthier and people in the middle class are paying more products for goods that they were paying for before. That's not how it works. Nikes aren't going up because the American we're bringing back shoe manufacturing. Nikes are going up because we are tariffing Vietnam, and now when Nikes show up, they're going to cost more for the people that imported them, and then they are going to pass that along to you, the consumer. But MAGA are too fucking dumb. They're just not smart people. And you just gotta stop saying it's mean to call them morons. Because they are morons. They're not intelligent. They don't understand tariffs. They can't spell tariff. They don't know how taxes work. They don't know the difference between a regressive, a proportionate, and a progressive tax. They are going to finish their lives smoking cigarettes outside of factories where they go to work every day and build Elon Musk's friends for him. Because they are the proletariat. And this guy proves it.
Products, and it should say made in USA instead of made in China.
Sure, but the made in USA stuff is going to cost more money.
Well, that'll be jobs for Americans, right?
At the expense for all of the consumers,
that's taxable
right?
income that will stay in the country.
At the expense of
That's literally like saying, Jesus fucking Christ. That's like saying, I'm going to pay more. By the way, you also get sales taxed. So the price on the product goes up because of tariffs, and then you actually pay more money on something because of sales tax as well, because sales tax works exponentially off of, so if something's $10 and you have an 8% tax, right, it's 1008. If something's $20, it's now 2016, right? Like, the more something costs, the more sales tax you pay on it. That's like saying, I'm getting more money from me by giving more money to you, so that way you can give it back to me, but you never actually give it back to me.
So the entire American economy, right? We're going to have to pay more for everything.
So what do you think is the bad thing, that people get higher wages? You think that's a bad thing, that people are going to get?
No one's going to get higher wages. Who's fucking, Jesus Christ. Walmart, when they're making $1 billion fucking dollars, isn't increasing people's wages. Do you think when you cut into the profit of Walmart through tariffs that they're going to just like be like, you know what, let's fucking hook up those warehouse guys with a couple extra bucks? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Get higher wages because it's not going to be made in China anymore?
I don't think the higher wages are going to matter when everything else is more expensive than
you
your
don't
wages.
think the higher wage is going to matter?
No, because if you have to pay, why are these people this dumb? It's fucking mind-numbing. It is. It hurts. If you make $20 here in America, $20 an hour, and you work 10 hours, and you get $200, and then they take 29% or whatever out of it, $171, right? And you're buying a shirt, and that shirt costs $10. That is, let's just say $100. You make $100, and a shirt costs 10. That's 10% of the money that you made, right? If that shirt was made by somebody that only made $2 to make that shirt, right? And then there's a tariff on that shirt. That's 30%. So by the time it's coming here, it was like $8. That takes it to $10. But now you have a tariff, so that makes it $13. Now you've paid 13%. Like, if somebody here in America makes a shirt and they get paid $20 an hour and it takes them 30 minutes, they spent $10 on the labor. That's not the packaging. That's not the materials. That's not the shipping. That's not paying people to put it on a shelf or a person to ring it up. That is just how much it costs to make it. $10 for a $20 an hour employee. If you have a person that's paid $3 and it takes them half an hour, it's $1.50. That is a $8.50 difference between the price of the good being made. You are going to pay that price. They don't just, we'll just eat it. We'll just eat it. That's why it's called a regressive tax. A regressive tax means that when the middle class gets taxed on something, it is worse for them than it is for anybody else, because you pay a percentage of your wealth. You pay a percentage of the money that you make in a day to buy a shirt, where rich people don't bat a fucking eyelash if they have to pay more for that shirt. I can't.
Not when everything else becomes more expensive. No.
That's why it needs
These
to
are
be
the
made in
dumbest
America.
fucking
It's going
people
to be
that
more
have
expensive if
ever
it's made in
lived.
America.
Well, I mean, once again, that's an assumption. I'm operating more on like the principle. Yeah,
the principle also doesn't make any
we
sense.
should
The
have made in
principle.
USA. We should have more manufacturing. We should not outsource our
We are a service industry. This guy probably doesn't know what a service industry is. We are not bringing back manufacturing to America. We are potentially bringing back microchip manufacturing, but even that's going to take decades. And like right now, we're actually too far behind. And that's not even just Trump's fault. That's lots of people's fault. That's the American government's fucking fault. We're so far fucking behind in every industry that actually matters right now in this fucking country. And instead of like fucking figuring out that we should do something about that, instead we are lying to the American populace and telling them we're going to bring back car manufacturing. No, do you know what a car manufacturing plant looks like? It is a bunch of fucking robots. Apple brought back a factory to Texas, and people were like super stoked. Oh, it's going to be good paying jobs. You know how many good paying jobs that Apple factory brought back? Like 5. Why? Because it's all put together by fucking robots, and you only need people to be there to maintain those robots and to make sure that they do the job the correct way. We're not in 1950. You're not bringing back industry. You are only going to be worth anything to these people until you build the robots that are then going to build the other robots. That's it.
Manufacturing.
They're
for
the
anything
dumbest
to
fucking
other
people that
countries.
have ever
Should we
lived.
make every single thing that we consume in the United States?
I think that would be a perfect idea. I think the North America and South America are big enough and work well enough together that we could just say peace out, rest of the earth, and just be solid North and South America.
So what economy?
This dude doesn't understand how fucking rare earth minerals work. Oh my god. And look, I don't fucking... This is what I said. This is what I was saying the other day. This is where Aristotle was right. Not everybody should want to fucking vote. Not everybody should. You should literally have to be asked before voting on tariffs if you know what a tariff is. You should have to fucking pass a test before you get to fucking vote on any of this shit. To be fucking honest with you. I know there's people on the left right now. They're like, hey! But I believe that shit. Because there's so much about these things that people don't understand. If that guy got to vote on policy that said we are going to build a wall around Mexico, South America, and North America is what he said, right? Around South America and North America. Are you for that? He would say yes. Not understanding that trade outside of the Americas is incredibly important. We just did a deal in Ukraine to have the rare minerals that are coming out of Ukraine. We need those minerals. We do not have enough of those minerals here in America. Not to mention that when you fucking mine on your own fucking land, you despoil it. You despoil water. You despoil the air. I understand that these are all very complicated issues. I get frustrated trying to know everything I need to possibly know about any of these things. And I have holes in my education. I don't have enough time to fucking go through and figure all this shit out. But what I do know is that I don't know everything. And when you know that, that's Dunning-Kruger, right? Is the idea that there's something about this when somebody says something to you that you go, I'm not sure that my answer is correct because I don't know enough about that subject. And these people speak with such fucking confidence. We could just wall off North America and South America and we'd be fine. Like, this dude does not understand why we trade with other countries, why we use USAID for good faith capital. Like, this dude, I bet you this dude couldn't fucking tell you where we get chocolate from, where we get coffee from. Like, people don't understand when they shit on USAID that the reason that chocolate is going up 50 to 80% partially is because we used to interact with certain governments that we would help with their infrastructure and make sure that chocolate trees didn't get a certain disease which is running fucking rampant right now and destroying the chocolate industry. And that's just the chocolate industry. The banana industry also goes through that consistently because there's a virus that kills off bananas. The citrus industry in Florida has taken a fucking dive into a deep, dark pit because of green disease. It's a global economy. You can't just fucking wall off South America and North America and everything's good.
I mean, what part of our economy we take workers from to start manufacturing fabrics and textiles?
That's a great idea. You're saying where are the workers going to come from?
Yeah.
All these people that are just hanging out, no job, getting unemployment, everything. You know, every city.
That's not how it works.
Every city you see people just hanging out.
Christ.
Give them a job. You know,
Trump says
at
right
that
now that
time,
the-
there'll be a robot. It'll be like artificial intelligence.
Oh my God, he's
you
just
know, it'll
so
be like
simple.
computers and robotics.
He's a simple
and yes,
person.
people will be able to get simple jobs. And so, yeah, to answer your question, where is that
fuck, I need
labor
to know what
force
this
going to
dude
come
does
from?
for a
It's
job.
going to come from the United States.
So it's absolutely not going to come from the United States. We absolutely
No.
don't have enough workers to cover for all of the
No,
imports that
that's
we
an
do from other
assumption.
markets. It's not an assumption, it's reality. The unemployment is
Because
low enough.
4.1% unemployment rate. That is not an assumption. That is literal. There is a 4% unemployment rate. And we're literally stopping people from coming into the country. The dipshits that believe that we have a population decline problem in the United States of America are literally hindering the ability to bring more people into this country. These people are not smart. In fact, I don't think they're trying to be smart. I don't think that Donald Trump really even fucking understands how anything works. He's not a smart person. He's a fucking moron. And as I said before, when his cultists say he's just like us, I fucked up. I said he wasn't. I was like, he's a billionaire. He has nothing in common with you. But you're right. Y'all are all fucking dumb together. Like, he appeals to you because you look at him and go, that dude is just like me. And I finally fucking get it. I'm like, holy shit. That's what they meant. It's like watching Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan podcast when there's a physicist and the physicist is like, well, the sun is made up of this. And then when you have, this thing called a Carrington event that can knock out, electronics across the earth. And Joe goes, wait. So like that comes from the sun? And have we ever been hit by one of those? And the guy goes, yeah, like in the 1830s. People are like, oh yeah, I'm like Joe Rogan. Because I would have asked that question too. That's why Donald Trump appeals to these people. Because he's the same level of intellect as them. But the rest of those people behind him, the Curtis Yarvins, the Peter Thiels, the Jeff Bezos, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Mark Andreessens, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And they are separating the middle class from the wealthy, creating the space that they need to use unregulated AI to take control of certain places within this country that they are going to use to enrich themselves further, to do everything they possibly can to spend all their money and resources before they fucking die.
That we don't have all of these
right
extra
now,
workers.
And
the fact of the matter is that the
deals
biggest
with China,
you say bad
right?
deals, but the most important places that America is making progress in right now are fields like artificial intelligence. I don't know what I would take from that to mine coal or to manufacture textiles.
Well, the
We
AI
should
would
not
be
be
able to
mining
do
coal.
it effortlessly without even having to.
If the AI
worry
could do it
about
effortlessly, why isn't the AI doing it now?
You can't. Mining coal is fucking dumb. Like, no one believes that except for fucking these people. Even the fucking Republicans don't believe that. When you talk to the fucking tech oligarchs behind Donald Trump, you know what they say? They want to build nuclear. Because nuclear is the only answer to fucking AI. AI eats energy. Like, even green energy, like, as much as China's producing right now, like, it's probably not going to be enough. It's probably not going to, not as things get worse and worse. Unless the technology becomes more and more efficient. There's a possibility there. But you're not going to get it from coal. It's not coming from coal. It's coming from nuclear. And then you have to ask yourself why they want 10 years of unregulated access and why they're buying properties like East Solano County that are on the water. And that's because they want to buy nuclear facilities or build nuclear facilities that have zero red tape or regulation, which are going to poison your drinking water. And one day you're going to your kids are going to die and you're going to blame Joe Biden because you're a fucking moron.
It takes time. People are uncomfortable with it. It needs to be more or less rolled out in a major way. And I do think one thing about that, people need to become more comfortable with AI.
So wouldn't it be better to roll that out then by having people continue to focus on that research and then just import cheap stuff from other countries until we figure out how to AI it?
I think the best way to be to just start American manufacturing utilizing artificial intelligence and advanced robotics as soon as possible.
Sure.
And get American.
Yeah, there's actually nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But he's like Donald Trump. You don't just walk through a fucking city and go, poof, now there's a factory. It's why people don't understand the semiconductor problem. Semiconductors, the facilities that you build semiconductors in are fucking high tech, like the highest of tech. One of the reasons that China has not invaded Taiwan isn't because China's afraid of America, but because they can't just fucking go in and just destroy everything. If you destroy those factories, you lose the very reason that you take Taiwan. If you go there and you kill the people that work in those factories, you lose the highly specialized employees that built those chips, once again defeating the whole purpose of taking Taiwan. Building factories for semiconductors in America, even if with the way that things do exponentially get faster as we get better and tech gets better, Even with that being considered, you're talking about 5 to 10 years before you start seeing factories that can produce the type of chips that are the highest chips, the ones that are used in quantum computers or hypersonic missiles, that only are produced pretty much 90% of them in Taiwan. You don't just walk into a place, point at it, and go, poof, now we have industry. That's why this is a global economy, because everybody does something better than somebody else. And if we were smart, what we would be doing is we would be creating better trade agreements with people, not through this like malicious, like Donald Trump's like fucking hyper fixation on tariffs. You don't do it that manner. You're not tariffing the auto industry back into America. That doesn't make any sense. We are a service economy, and if you don't know what that means, you should look it up.
Americans trained in how to write code, how to interact, and every menial job. It won't even be like a human making like the specific logistical decisions.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but then I feel like it would make sense to just import the stuff from other countries and let them deal with the manufacturing while we do the research and innovation and AI.
I could agree with you to a certain extent, as long as Americans pay less and other countries pay more.
Sure, the way that we pay less is by importing it. That's why we import it, because it's cheaper.
Well, that's the immediate present. Yeah, that's why I'm saying they can make the changes now to increase how much more we get from other countries with these bad deals that are taking place, and make better deals so that the American...
We have had fantastic deals. Why do you think America is the number one global GDP, everything, fucking everything in the world? Why do you think we're the number one economy? Why do you think California is the 4th largest economy in the world? Why do you think that's true? Because we've had fantastic deals for fucking ever. Do you think that Vietnam is getting over America when we are literally abusing their fucking citizenry by making their children fucking create our shoes? Does that in any way, shape, or form even fucking click with you for half a fucking second that the person being taken advantage of in that situation is Vietnam? Trump's idea of a trade deficit is saying that Vietnam doesn't buy enough of our stuff. How would Vietnam buy more of our products when Vietnam's economy is based off of creating cheap shit to sell to America? That doesn't make sense. And I know Trump supporters are fucking horrific at math. But even that math should be pretty fucking easy to figure out. Vietnam isn't some fucking huge country that's going to buy a bunch of planes to make up the difference. Vietnam is literally selling us sneakers for pennies on the dollar. They do not... We created a fucking deficit in their own country, and then we're the ones taking advantage of them? I know that MAGA are not smart people, but there's got to be a bar. There's got to be a place where even MAGA goes, well, that doesn't seem right.
Taxpayer pays less, not more.
I don't think you can just make a deal to pay less. Unless when people start throwing out tariffs, everything.
That's why we have President Trump, right?
Yeah,
guys?
and nothing
is. That's why we have President Trump.
Yeah, but he hasn't made anything cheaper yet.
What? He has not. CPI
well, in
has
a way, you're right,
since
because the prices they have just been steadily going up through every presidency that I've seen in my life. But that's the point. I voted for Trump. What is it? 3 times. He won 3 times. Because he's saying the things that are true to me, that America should be first. If we are Americans, like, I don't know if you're Canadian or something.
And there you go. He said, I don't know if you're Canadian. There you go. That's Trump supporter logic in a fucking nutshell. He says things that I like. He says things that I like. Like I said, they're just like him. They are. He is a direct reflection of them. And just like him, if they could, they would get away with the meme coin corruption. They'd cheat on their wives. They'd be in the Epstein files all over them. and then they would defend not releasing those Epstein files because they knew their name was in it and they don't want themselves to be outed. He is a mirror of all of these people. And he just looks them right in the fucking face and says, I say the things that you would say, and you like that. You like that so much that you will literally vote to cut your fucking own legs off. Not just yours, too. Your fucking kids. That's crazy.
Something, you're American?
That's
Very American.
crazy.
You're American? What do you want, like some other country to be doing better? Do you want America
I don't think
to
any
be
other country
servicing
is
them
doing better. I think America is doing the best right now. I don't think other countries
Yeah.
are doing better
We're
than us.
still
I think
the number
there's a bad
one economy.
assumption
It's too
that
bad we're the
every game
25th
is zero
fucking
sum, and if somebody else is winning,
most
that we're
unhappy.
losing. But when you go to the store and you give them $10 for, I don't know, for whatever you buy, you're both winning in that transaction. You want the thing more than
Exactly.
they want the thing, and they
yeah.
want the $10 more than.
You mean like if we have allies?
Yeah,
Right,
that,
we have
remember when we had
allies.
those? Remember when we had those before Trump?
Good one. Good, Steven.
Okay, so
Anyways, we're not going to continue. This fucking whole video is mind-numbing. But that's what I was saying. When you're talking to Trump supporters, you're talking to that dude. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. You're not going to bring these people back to sanity. That's like the sad part. It really is. It's really fucking sad. And because a lot of us have family members, friends, coworkers, people that we've known that we really would like to see come back to sanity. But they bought into this like lazy, just take whatever Trump says as truth, just never actually have a critical thought or think, logically about something. Just they have their facts and you have yours. Like, it's really fucking sad. It's actually really sad. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.